Before my phone offloaded Instagram and TikTok, I started watching a channel called Sellsword Arts. Due to the crippling addiction of short-form content, I headed to YouTube Shorts to watch more Sellsword Arts. I think it's a great time to say that I found them via this video.
Good game! Good game! Sports! Oh god! Jeez! So hard!
That's my kind of SpongeBob humor right there. Besides learning about sword fighting and David's curse of having to prove reverse grip sucks, they're also Star Wars fans, and David made a Star Wars fan series that started when he started the channel. Balance is a fan film by Sellsword Arts uploaded May 8th, 2021. Hey, that's the day before my 22nd birthday. The story of Balance is so far 3 parts, with the third part being what I would consider a soft reboot, similarly to the revival of Doctor Who, because the previous episodes are still canon to the third, but Stannis, who was played by Wade Castle in episode 1, is now played by Clark. David moved. Let's start with breaking down the series so far and then get into the details, because you know your boy loves his juicy details, and Sellsword Arts gives us details that I love. Now you better make sure you go watch these videos because they deserve all the love and views that they get, and I swear I will come to your house and I will make you watch these videos. Two Jedi named Stannis and Vale are on a planet looking for a dark side artifact, a Sith holocron, and they are tasked to retrieve it and bring it back to the temple to be stored away. As they get closer, they sense someone else approaching, and it is their fellow Jedi Carden, who is not supposed to be there. Carden has not only got to the planet first, but also got the holocron in hand, and is going to hand it over to the council himself to prove he's capable of going on missions. Vale is annoyed because this is the exact reason the council doesn't let Carden go on missions. He doesn't follow orders. To which Carden explains he'd follow them if they made more clear with their instructions. Stannis does convince Carden that this isn't going to show the council he's capable of going on missions, but that he's capable of disobeying orders. Carden agrees to hand the holocron over after he looks at the information, which angers Vale. Stannis is trying to keep the peace between them, wanting Vale to calm down and to understand where Carden is coming from. But Vale makes his terms known. Carden hands over the holocron and turns himself into the council. Vale and Carden swap ideologies and feelings. Carden feels like an outcast and wanting to learn and ask questions, and Vale feels Carden is not worthy. Stannis does a decent job de-escalating as they both disengage, but Vale spits venom about how Carden is nothing, and Carden engages in combat against them both, but mainly against Vale. The fight goes on when Carden uses a type of Force Lightning on Stannis, which catches Carden off guard. He then disarms Vale and uses the Force Lightning on him. Stannis pleads with Carden to stop and to come with them, and the council will help him, but Carden is done and wants Stannis to leave with him. Stannis can't, and they fight, with Carden coming out on top, taking the holocron, and leaving Stannis and Vale, as well as the Order. From the description, the events in Dusk take place just a few months after the events between Carden, Stannis, and Vale. Carden returns to the archives looking for more Sith holocrons, and meets a nameless Jedi. Carden requests access to the Sith holocrons, but the Jedi refuses. When he attempts to get the codes from the Jedi, they enter an altercation and ends with Carden lowering the Jedi's life points to 0 before fleeing the Jedi archives. Stannis reaches out to Carden to talk, and actually, surprised, Carden shows up, and Carden is looking more Sith than Jedi in this one. Stannis explains the council has ordered every Jedi in the Order that if they find Carden, they have to relieve him of his life privileges on sight. Stannis also explains he was able to plead with the council that if Carden returned willingly, they would grant him leniency. Carden sees through this, saying that if he returned, he would just spend the rest of his days in a padded cell. Stannis says he'd be alive, but Carden says that's not a life. Stannis says he believes with enough time Carden could gain the council's trust. Carden brings up how he never had it to begin with. Carden plans to leave, but Stannis says he's not leaving without him, and he'll either come with him willingly or in a bacta tank, and they duel, but Carden uses the Force to kick up sand and disappear. Now that we've gone over the story, let's go over the details. Some details that I wonder are if they were intentional or if they just fell into place beautifully. The sword fighting is amazing, first off, and it should be when they're trained swordsmen. The other thing I noticed is how Carden only killed one opponent in all 3 of the episodes. He disarmed and injured Stannis and Vale, and ran from Stannis in the rematch, but he killed the Jedi in dusk, and the reaction Carden gives is pure shock and regret of said actions. Like, the kill was just a byproduct from the heat of the moment, and makes it feel like he decided to try and find Sith holocrons elsewhere just to not kill Jedi. I'm heavily implying here, but Carden's reaction doesn't lie. His reaction shows fear and regret for what he did. And I'm still heavily implying, kinda. I want more.
And I know I shouldn't.
The shift in Carden's appearance is my favorite. It makes me wonder if it was planned or if just due to what they had, it created this happy little accident. In balance, Carden looks like your standard Jedi Knight and has a yellow blade and has white lightning, which makes it mean he's not doing it out of the dark side, much to Vale's mistake when he calls him a heretic. In dusk, his robes are darker. Could be the lighting, or they could actually be a darker tan, which makes sense because he's more, lack of a better term, deranged. It's like he's trying to cling to the light, but the dark side is corrupting him. His yellow blade is closer to orange than yellow now. And in balance, one last chance, Carden is full on dark side with the black robes and a red blade. This fan project also has a great way of showing how poorly the Jedi were with treating people in their own ranks. You get this with Qui-Gon and Anakin, but the comparison fits more with Anakin to Carden, but at least Anakin had some trust from the Council. From the storytelling, Carden questions a lot of things, and for a Jedi in the prequel era, I mean, this is more of, it seems like it's closer to the High Republic era, since it appears like that with how Carden looks and balanced the first one. But other Jedi, their robes and tunics are more closely looking what the prequel era Jedi look were, so it's around that era. For a Jedi to question things, it's very frowned upon. Vale's outbursts seem to stem from the Jedi's teachings. Stannis seems to be in between Vale and Carden. He only knows the Jedi teachings, but sees that the Jedi need to embrace people like Carden. I feel like Carden would have gotten along with Qui-Gon, but because of people like Vale and the Order, he fell. I feel that with correct guidance, Carden could have gained knowledge and also stayed on the path of the light, but that's not how the Jedi operate then, and Carden is considered a heretic. With that said, I can't wait to find out what's next for Carden. Though with how infrequent these videos are from Sellsword Arts in terms of the time between each one, I honestly don't know if they're working on the next installment, but if they are, and when they upload it, I'm right there day one. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta train so I can ask Carden if I can join him, and if I can't join him, I gotta at least put up a fight that might let him run away and not kill me. It would suck to be the second Jedi he killed.